Several years ago, I was in old San Juan, Puerto Rico doing a one-day workshop for the FBI. And I want you to picture this. We were on the second floor in a beautiful big banquet room. And looking back, the left side of the banquet hall had these big windows, and back in the back there were these big windows, and they were maybe 10 or 12 feet tall. They had the windows open that day. It was just an absolutely gorgeous day, and the breeze was coming through, and they had these sheer curtains. And sometimes as a speaker, it's kind of a strange thing, but you can be speaking and at the same time thinking something totally different. And you know, sometimes you're thinking about what you're going to do next or what you're going to say next, but I was actually thinking I'm in paradise right now. It's just so pretty. But looking out the windows, I could see the bay of Old San Juan, and it was spectacular, just beautiful. A lot of yachts and things, but there was this cruise ship that was up against the dock, and I want you to picture this. It was actually facing the hotel, but it was about 300 or 400 yards away, and it was, I'd say, at least 800 to 900 feet long. Just one of those huge boats I'm sure you've seen before. At a certain point, I guess around 11 o'clock or so, I heard a boom like that, and I looked out the window and I saw the ship just pull away from the dock. They had actually untied it, and it went really slow, like about, you know, maybe a foot or two every several seconds, but it was just going real slow. And then I looked at it and I saw that it started moving forward, and then it started turning. And there were it was just, actually the story I'm telling you took about 45 minutes to actually go through, but it went through the bay, and I watched it go all the way to the channel that went out into the Caribbean Ocean. And after, you know, 45 minutes or so, I couldn't see it anymore. It's actually out in the ocean. But I've got a little bit of ADD, and that's not the worst thing in the world that could actually happen. But sometimes ADD people think a little bit differently, and I had three thoughts at that point, and I want to share them with you. Number one, question for you. Do you think possibly before the captain ever pulled out away from the dock, do you think the captain was at the wheel of the ship? And I would say absolutely he was. He had to steer it. My next thought was this. Do you think the captain had the rudder in the water before he ever took off to steer the boat? And sure he did. Absolutely. You'd agree with me that he did. The reason being, he couldn't drift. If he drifted, he was going to run into some of these just beautiful yachts out there. And then I thought this. Isn't that the exact same as our lives? Let's say, for example, in a day you don't put your rudder in the water till, let's say, 12 o'clock or so. Sometimes we don't even put our rudder in the water. Sometimes I really believe, and I think you'd agree with me, that sometimes we go through life unconsciously. And that's what this blog is all about. That's what my writing is about, is to help you to put the rudder in the water before you ever leave your home in the morning. To maybe do life a little bit more intentionally, to possibly fulfill your purpose in life. I really believe that God created everybody on purpose for a purpose, but I believe also that probably 95% of the people never figure out what that purpose is. And how do you do your days and your weeks a little bit better? So I'm so glad that you joined me. I'm so glad that you've decided to you know, be a part of this thing, and I'll do my best to help you put your rudder in the water.